Hello everybody. Brian here at quantlabs.net. Let's go over what's happening in the world of mainstream stuff, Forex, CFD, poor man's gateway to the futures market. I put up a video yesterday, didn't realize my audio was garbled, so this is another attempt at it with the most up-to-date information. So let's pull up the Yahoo Finance, see what's going on. Everything's down. Gold is up. Looks like that's confirmed. Looks like Bitcoin's down pretty severe as well as the crypto 200, CMC crypto 200. Right now, I'm sure the Asian market Nikkei is up. So let's do what we usually do here. You can see everything silver here and Canadian dollar. I was using the monthly view. You can see it's steadily climbing. Been dropping over the last few months, so it started dropping in 2020, September 2020, went flat as well. That's gold now in Canadian dollars. I'm sure I could do the same thing here with similar story with gold and the Swiss franc. Same with, not too bad with euro. Actually, it's been very flat. It just goes to show that this currency is questionable. Let's see the pound, same thing, very flat as well. So that's gold and pound. Gold in the Hong Kong dollar, not looking good. Let me just make sure for the British pound here. Gold again. So there you go. Similar story with all the other currencies with the British pound. New Zealand. So you can see it doesn't matter which currency, just overall gold has the same pattern. One thing I do stress with people is make sure you understand here, this is a way into data, Forex, and you can see no one wants to hold US dollar. That's the key takeaway among all this type of analysis. US dollar is at its lowest participation rate. You can see here gold in Singapore. Now we're getting a silver. So when you start seeing these precious metals, it just goes to show that there is a definite concern with precious metals, and usually you would think Bitcoin traditionally is a place to hide out in. I'll be going over that in my webinar tonight, why that's happening. I just found out some news yesterday which would make sense, but I'm not going to mention that on YouTube. It's not safe. So here we go with silver again. Let's look at the monthly view again, Canadian dollar. See that spike there. What month is that? That is July 1st, July 2020. I'm not sure what happened then. I guess that's when the economy started to recover from the global sickness. Has been kind of declining since. And the silver here, let's just always make sure the pattern's the same. Yeah, it is pretty well for the Swiss franc. It's just overall, like, there's really no escape, it seems, from any of this BS. Short term as well. See that similar pattern there in the euro, silver, and the British pound as well. I did put up something, I can't remember, with the British pound being better. I think it was a pound in the euro, which was, or is it the euro and the pound? But let me just show that. So out of all the big currencies, the only currency worthy is, I'm not sure if it's definitely the British pound. And I'll show you why as I look at other currencies here. But on a monthly basis here, one thing I want you to take away from this is the combination euro and British pound. Most you can see how far back it goes to January 2003. Most currencies will peak in 2007, have a sudden drop off because of the financial crisis in 08-09, and then goes flat. That's the general pattern. But you can see here with the euro and British pound, it's been stable. So that would tell you that the British pound seems to be stable since at least 2015, I think because of the Brexit. That's where the wealth goes, I would think. But anyways, let's continue on with this analysis here. All right, so let's talk about what my last video yesterday was about. It was about, again, monthly view. When I'm going to show you the major currency pairs with the Western ones, you'll see the really bad declines with them, and just they're not holding value internationally. So you can see here, this one is not the best either, but considering what I'm about to show you, can see that volume pick up there. This is the Euro, South African Rand. Really important to understand that this is trending, even though it's really choppy, but it's trending up. It's very important to know that it's one of the very few currencies that is able to do that since around before 2007. Another example here, if you were to look at the monthly view with Hong Kong, you can see that big rise, rally up, similar to what happened in China. And it's gone flat since and really gone nowhere, or it's very range bound. So to hold it in Hong Kong 33, not a very good, wise move. But then you look at, even though it's in a short-term decline here for the IM India 50, that monthly view here, you can see it's done fairly well. It's very strong. What matters here is the steepness of this rally since the global sickness has kicked in. Actually, you'll see the best one here. Now, remember, these are excellent scores. So here is another British pound in Singapore. So Singapore is where people think might be safe. That's not the case when you look at the GDP against debt. It's one of the highest in the world, actually, and you'll see why. So this is the pattern I'm talking about. So we're going all the way back to 2005. You can see it started to decline, and it's gone flat since. This is in Singapore dollars. This is why it's not safe to hold Singapore dollars, because of the debt level of Singapore. People don't know that with the social programs that go on over there. There's no tax, but the wealthy still keep Singapore propped up. Here in Taiwan, this is probably one of the best performing exchanges in the world, up to a point. You see that here. Now remember what I said about the steepness? You see how shallow this was just for like 4 months with the global sickness. So it was very limited in terms of how much Taiwan was hit, and then just really recovered quite nicely. And just recently, it's really only because of the China saber rattling of attacking Taiwan that's the market's gone flat. But generally, this is done very well. Another one, U.S. Thai baht, is another one, has rallied, declined. Short term, this is not looking too bad. Now again, this doesn't mean that Thai baht is strengthening, because it's not. But when you do the flip side, it would mean that the Thai baht is actually crashing against the U.S. dollar. But again, depending upon your view, the U.S. dollar is not very strong as well. But we know that the U.S. dollar is the so-called world reserve currency. But I think the credibility of that, as the government and the Federal Reserve, is cranking out fake money for the last couple of years, and the trillions that it's been pumping out. So here, Thailand's not doing awesome, but there's other currencies that do fairly well in foreign lands. But you can see here, it's done pretty good since January. So that is an okay investment short term. Here's a 2-year for Treasury. See that decline? That's not a good sign. That's just the overall. People don't want to hold this U.S. Treasury. The credibility of the U.S. is obviously in question. You can see here, this should be spiking, which it has, even this year. As soon as they start piling on those stupid packages that they're putting out, stimulus, look what happens. It declines. So that's what's been going on. Let's look at here. U.S. check. Again, short-term rally, gone flat, fine. Monthly view says it all. Look how all of the place it is with Czechoslovakia. Hong Kong we looked at as well. But since October, it's done a really solid rally, trending up. Again, choppy though. So again, here, this is really crazy. Very range bound, but it's definitely strengthening here since the beginning of the year. So maybe Hong Kong may be a place to go, but here you can see what typically happens, parabolic. Again, USD Rand, you can see here it's been rallying. So all the Western major countries are not looking too good when you see that. When you get South Africa, I would have also said Turkey, but let me show you Turkey while we're here. So here is, well, we've seen that. Okay, so let me show you Turkey. over the last few months. You probably read about the crash of the currency, TRY, Turkish lira. So you can see here it just spiked like crazy. It's almost doubled, very close to doubling. Monthly, is that a monthly view? Believe, yeah, it's a monthly view. So even if you go on let's say a 6 hour, you see that big run up. Now if you trade this way, euro in Turkish lira, you would have made quite a bit. If you want to short it, would have been very predictable. But here, the hourly view, this is what's been going on. It's been stable. It's stabilized. It's not been rallying at all. So I think that seems to have temporarily, at least, come to an end. But you can see here that massive spike. So again, that's euro, Turkish lira, and that's the same with USD in Turkish lira as well. So it's now once you start to see the excellent score for commodities, namely in agriculture, you know things are not looking good. You can also probably see that there's concerns when you start to see gold and silver at the top. Usually people would probably pile into Bitcoin, but we already saw the performance there just alone today with Bitcoin. So yeah, when you start to see agriculture be the top picks, it's not a good thing. But anyways, let's look at these. So again, monthly chart says it all. It's been rallying all year. Okay, so there is definite inflation, but the volume's dropped. I'm going to show you some other ones where inflation doesn't seem to, between May and maybe last month, November, there just doesn't seem to be the concern of inflation. So this one's corn. And again, this is what I'm talking about. You can see here it rallied, gone up in price from May 2020 to April 2021, and it's been declining. So again, this is a basic food product, and it's declined. Now it's gone flat. So again, this is where I kind of question this so-called inflation. Obviously it's there, but I mean it's a real thing, but not in these commodity products. It's at the processing and at the logistics of the transporting of it is the problem. But the raw product is not really showing any real inflation. So again, when you start seeing these exotics, the franc, Swiss franc and Japanese yen, Swiss franc and the rand, that's excellent. There's something brewing, man. There's something dangerous lurking in that water. And let's look at the monthly report here. You can see it's rising. Okay. Swiss franc and Japanese yen. Those are supposed to be the two safe haven currencies. So I'm not able to show you some of the major pairs. We'll probably see them eventually. Again, same pair there. Pound against the rand. Again, monthly view. It's trending. Why? Why would it trend? Okay. Here's the German top 30 markets, stock market, trending. Again, what we're looking for to know where the best place to go. Germany, but it's not very steep after that recovery, after that global sickness business. But you compare that to the U.S., like here on the monthly view, this is definitely a place to go. You can see it's very shallow and just boom. But compared to that to Taiwan, you would have gotten better performance over a certain amount of months. SPX, same thing. This is the S&P 500, similar pattern. Okay, but not as steep, not as steep. Here's the top US 30. Same thing. Okay, so now we're getting into the major pairs. This is what I want to show. So again, forget all this range bound stuff. This is really, you can't trade that. But this is what I want to show. Look, you got a peak here. It's been in decline since here, May 12th, 2004. A little bit of a rally, and then it goes flat again. Like that's major currency. So here's the British pound and the Japanese yen. Solid decline. Monthly view, same thing. Another one, USD, Japanese yen. This one's not so bad because it's the Japanese yen. Because it's been stable. Slight decline, but did rally and then went flat. Or what about the franc, the Swiss franc? So here with the Swiss franc, what does this say? It's been a solid decline. And been flat since. So when it comes to Switzerland, my view is I believe that Switzerland's lost its luster in terms of places to go in terms of international banking, because like Germany have clamped down on that, and it's really hurt obviously the Swiss franc here. Norway, this is an oil trade, that's why it's rallying here. But I'm sure I could show you oil, but again, it's not a top ranked asset here. But when you look at how do I know things are not looking good, not as many excellent score, and that's another sign that things don't look good right now. You can see, but either way, USD Norwegian rally declined a little bit and gone flat. Let's look at the monthly view. Slight trend, but this is probably in the same pattern as oil price. Brent crude, WTI. Here's Sweden. Been rallying, okay, between here November 8th till the 28th and gone flat. Let's look at the monthly view here. So look at this. It's kind of gone all over the place starting January 2014. Started to trend up a little bit. This one here, USD Denmark, rally gone flat. Monthly as well, same thing. There's definitely no trend move up. Okay, now we get to look at gold and Australian dollar. Gold and Australian, short term flat. Okay, monthly. Solid, no, I won't say solid trend, but it's gold. In Australia, same patterns I've shown before with this, like no different than the Canadian dollar as well, which I showed. But it's very similar across all these currencies. This is the important one. This gold-silver ratio, this is the important one. When this starts to go up, this is a real concern because this is the classic indicator you use, very 100%, 150% reliable in terms of what's going on in the world economy. Here you see it start to rally from 74 to 82. That's a big jump. But on a monthly view, if you just look at this, rallied a little bit, went up as the 2008, but from a world perspective, that's nothing compared to what the global sickness did. You can see that big spike there. But between January 11th to here, at the beginning of last year, 2020, you can see it's been rallying and put the same, and actually exceeded the same level of risk as back in 2008. And that was like when supposedly the whole financial system was ready to, well, it was at the abyss. But you can see we've gone past that, and the Federal Reserve and other central banks have gone crazy printing out fake money. And now they go into this modern theory. What do they call it? Modern financial theory, or what do they call it? Clearly not working. Then the spike came, dropped back, and now it's starting to eke up again. Very reliable indicator. Really, 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 yeah. Australia 200. No different than all the other markets. It's been very flat for the last few months, and I blame that a lot on, again, their military style lockdown. So here's China, very flat, very range bound. What matters again is the overall trend. You can see it's moving up, okay, monthly view, but obviously US and other Western are outperforming, and that's because of the amount of liquidity put into the global or the US economy. And the wealthy are able to probably borrow to the max, get maximum returns, and then that's why they're able to build out the wealth that they're doing by maximizing what they have available to them, put it into the markets, get a pretty solid return, and that's why they're wealthier than the average Joe. So here you can see it's starting to rally since beginning of December, gone flat again. Europe. Again, if you remember, it's been a fairly decent return, and that's what they're doing. Obviously, U.S. is the better place. If you knew about Taiwan, that would have been better for you. Would have outperformed it. But anyways, Euro in Australia, there's a short term, but here's the monthly view. This is what really, really matters. Same pattern as before. Peaks here, in this case in 2009, because I guess Australia, remember, just it was better handling the problem. Solid decline and slight trend up, but a little better than other Western currencies. Another one, Euro in CHF, solid decline. I guess another way to say that CHF or Swiss franc's been dropping, Euro strengthening, but at the end of the day, what matters is it's peaked here, 2007, decline, flat, no performance. Check. Again, Euro and check. Let's see here, monthly view. Same pattern. This is very standard, except the Euro and pound. There's no performance, but what I do find interesting is it did rally, but the performance is the stability of the price is higher than anything else here. Like again with Euro against the Denmark, or Euro against the Swiss franc. You can see it's much lower and it's still declining. And again, comparing that to the Euro pound, just looks better. But still, you're getting no performance. But just the stability pricing seems to be higher than a lot of other currencies. Euro Hong Kong, pretty well, that says it all right there. It's declining. Euro against Hungary is an interesting one. Monthly view, nice solid rally. That's pretty good for all anywhere in Europe. So Hungary's looking good. Euro in Norway, same thing. Trending up a little bit, but obviously Hungary's outperforming. You would think that some of the all the Eastern European countries would be able to report the same as Hungary. That's not the case. Here's Poland, kind of going nowhere. This is similar to the pound. It's stable, but it's just going nowhere. You would expect this to trend, but no trending. And again, Euro with the Singapore dollar. We know that solid decline there. Again, we looked at the Euro, Turkish lira. Here's an interesting one, Euro US dollar. This is our first US dollar asset among the currencies. That's to show you how badly the US dollar is performing. No one wants to hold it. It's at its lowest participation rate of holding in US dollars since 1974. And we know back then what went down with the oil embargo and all that. So Euro USD, short-term decline here. Monthly view, again, short-term decline, but peaked just before May 2008. Okay, so we've looked at a lot of these. Okay, did we look at India? Let me just make sure to show you that view. Very rock solid recovery since the pandemic or the global sickness, and 1 month of down, and this probably will still outperform the US, so that's a pretty good place to be. I do like the look of that. Netherlands and Euro, well, this is done fairly well too, but again, has been flat last few months. So again, we've looked at majority of all these. Just looking for anything else that we haven't looked at. Okay, let's look at oil. Okay, so here's the oil price. It's been declining since October 27, a little rally, gone kind of flat again. So is that inflation? It's helped keep the overall prices down. From a monthly view, here in 08, you can see that really spiked in 08. Again, WTI oil, and it's been going up to about $80, and it's declined since. When it hits these levels here, usually demand will drop off because people can't afford it. But look, it was much higher in 2008, and people could afford it, and it rose all the way up to 140, and the demand dropped off. But here, it's quite interesting that the demand started dropping off at $80. So just from a global level, consumer level, people can't take oil prices to be more than $1.40, or 140, and now it's pushed up to 80. That might be due to the variance as well. Sugar is another one, very interesting one, rallying a little bit, but you can see it's already rallied earlier this year. Here, the monthly view, there's the rally right there. The volume's picked up because they figure out that sugar is a good commodity to be in these kind of times. Wheat, another one. You see it's dropping off. Monthly view, starting to increase again. It's showing no, but the volume's dropped off. And that's wheat. Corn we've looked at, blah, 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 blah. We're still in the very good. Yeah, we've looked at a lot of these. That's the state of the market right now. Oh, copper. Copper's a good one. So this is an industrial metal. This is where the inflation you can see here between October last year till May this year. That's where you're going to start seeing real inflation because of the manufacturing, because copper is one of the base industrial products as an input cost, but it's been in solid decline since. Now, I don't know if this is related around the global sickness, but this is where people really started to pay attention to the real inflation. That's what brought in the headlines was copper and just basically the base industrial metal, because everything started going up as input cost. But you can see here it's dropped a little bit and stabilized. I definitely would say that's due to just these this variance. It's reduced global manufacturing. I just read that some of the major Chinese manufacturers shut down because of the latest variant. Here's another rare one. Australian US dollar decline. I mean, just remember, this is a sign that the US dollar has gone up without a doubt. Monthly here, but it's just been very flat. No trend anywhere as well. But again, if US dollar was really valuable, you'd see more base currencies outperforming one be held in US dollar, and we've only found two. Okay, and we'll leave it at that. As I keep saying, there's really nowhere to hide out right now. It's not looking good. But if you want to know more, what I would recommend, join the daily newsletter. We'll be talking about this tonight in the world of crypto, because crypto's being affected. I'll be explaining why, but there's no playbacks. They get put up into my private membership area. So again, that's at quantlabs.net/contact to get on my email list. It's getting more critical. Crypto is losing its luster as well. I mean, I just showed you down 6% alone today, and it's been a very dismal week. Last week as well. So just to let you know, and if you want to know more, just get on that contact, join the newsletter, quantlabs.net/contact. Other than that, thanks for watching.